All right, family, we are now live. Want to make sure everybody. Let me make sure I'm live. Uh, yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me because this is gonna be. This show gonna be important tonight. It's gonna be a good one, y'all. For some reason, it looked like my comment section is frozen. I just want to make sure I'm live. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said my screen is frozen. Let me know if y'all can hear me because my comment section is not moving. So I just want to make sure I'm good to go. Oh, we okay. All right, good. All right, so we good to go. All right, so listen, hit the like button. About to bring my guest on right now. Y'all see who's in the building. About to bring my guest on. Tell your friends and family that we are live. That would help a great deal. Let's get to this quick commercial and we'll be right back, family. All right, be right back.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning feeling stressed. Sometimes I wake up feeling like I never slept. Sometimes I don't wanna wake up cause I'm depressed. But today when I woke up I felt blessed. Yes, I'm thankful I could breathe. Thankful for the breath, thankful for the heart beating in my chest. Superman S, I fell in love with life, not afraid of death. Fell in love with life, fell in love with sex. I'm a sinner, I confess. I love my cold, melanated flesh. It absorbs, it protects like a bulletproof vest. I kill all my demons and then I ask who's next. I'm the son of Osiris, I'm coming for the suit patch, suplex. God is blood, God is great. I thank Him for the food on my plate. I just ate mashed potatoes and steak. Victory is sweet, come get a taste. The flavor when your air is baked, Mac with the bass. Been broke, can't break, got money in the bank. Every day someone dies, someone's born. Get a cake, set a date, get a suit, get a tie, get a date. God is always on time, never late. Celebrate, get in shape, meditate, levitate, elevate. Men destroy, men create, real women menstruate. And the sound I make emanates my life. And the song I sing celebrates my life. Celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Celebrate today, celebrate tonight. Celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Everything was dark, God invented light. Everybody celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Celebrate today, celebrate tonight. Accepted all my wrongs, celebrate the right. When I die, celebrate my death, see what heaven's got. I feel glorious, victorious. The medal dangle on my...
All right, all right. Sister Myra, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I
All
had
right.
lost sound, and I didn't know if I was going to have sound, but it's back.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
without further ado, y'all, welcome back to the platform, Sister Myra. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You see, you made the
I
intro.
always love.
You see, you made the
Huh?
intro. You see, you was in the intro just now, Sister Myra.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you was in
I
the
was
intro.
looking at something. Oh well, when I look at it again, I'll catch it.
You'll see it. You'll see
Okay.
it. Hey,
Okay.
it's good to have you back here. This is the first time in this new year. We're calling it the
Yes.
Gregorian New Year that you
Yes.
are on the show. So it's a pleasure, definitely a pleasure having you on here. I know your birthday just passed, right?
You're right. The 8th of January. I'm always a week from New
A
Year's.
week from
So
New Year's. Okay,
where
that's
everybody stops theirs on New Year's, I go a week extension.
indeed, indeed, indeed.
72.
All right, all right.
72.
So,
So
so listen. This topic of the Super Bowl. I mean,
mhm.
this is in this country. This event generates the most interest out of any other event on television.
Mhm.
It gets the eyes of millions upon millions of people. They
Yes.
know attention is currency, so they charge companies and corporations top dollar to advertise.
Yes.
People spend
Yes.
millions of dollars to advertise for this event. A lot of spiritualists look at this event as having spiritual implications. They say it has cosmic. It's it's dealing with something with the cosmos. I've heard
Mhm.
you've been doing predictions for years. You've been talking about this event for years. How
Yes.
this event shows what's going to happen in the near future, and so forth. Some people feel as though it's fixed stage. Some people feel as though it's cosmically ordained. So many thoughts, ideas, and opinions about this event. But at the end of
Yes.
the day, a lot of people agree that this is the biggest ritual that America has going on for the people.
Yes.
Sister Myra, I want to have a great conversation tonight about Super Bowl. Why do so many spiritualists talk about this event? And what exactly is this event about? in terms of spirituality, and why is everybody so glued to this event, Sister
Yes.
Myra?
Okay. Wonderful.
Mhm.
You know, I call myself an energy master, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
So I study energy. That's what I study,
oh
you
yeah.
know, through astrology, numerology, whatever way you can tap into spiritual energy or
Mhm,
messages.
mhm.
So the thing about energy is you have to pull energy to create spirit.
Right.
Energy, it's a combination. So wherever you pull energy and you pull it through your focus,
Mhm.
what you're focusing on, that is how you energize.
Right.
So this is why they do these rituals,
Mhm.
because this is where they can get the largest number of people
Mhm.
to focus.
Mhm.
And it's like it's a script that they're, so when you talk about is it scripted, is it fake and all of that, um, could be, I don't know. That's not um, that really doesn't come into play for what they're doing. When you do a ritual, you see, you are getting people to pull their focus so that they can create this spiritual um, script. They put on a script, and as you focus and as you buy into it, you're actually energizing that into reality. Um, we're the ones creating the illusion. I talk about Humpty Dumpty, and I'm talking about the powers or the systems that be. And their thing is, I call him Humpty Dumpty because they depict Humpty Dumpty um, as an egg because they have a fragile position of power. It's not real. It's based on an illusion. And as we buy into the illusion, we're the ones actually energizing it for them. So, in order for them to unfold what energy they want to unfold for the year, that's why they do this ritual and then put a script in. So, as we're focusing on, and we take, like, let me see, it was the movie The Matrix where they were talking about the problem is a choice, or for people to think they have a choice. And as they think they have a choice, they take certain sides and positions. And as passionate as they get about how they're focusing on whatever script they're laying out, is how you're energizing. The more you're giving an energy to unfold that energy. And that's what they do for the year. They'll put on this script, they'll put on this so that we'll all focus. And as we focus, we're actually energizing it to unfold for the year. They do this through all collective events. The Super Bowl is the big one. They also do it with the Olympics, but the Olympics is that's kind of the biggest one, but we only do that every 4 years. Where the Super Bowl is where they do a yearly ritual to get us to focus and energize what they want to unfold for the year. You see, when my spirit first had me do this, when it first had me pay attention to Super Bowl rituals, this was right after 9/11. That's the first one I did, right after 9/11 with the Super Bowl. And this was War on America. And the whole script was about, they had the realms, which represents Aries energy, the warriors, you see. And in this time, the patriarchic spirit was representing, like the government or the system. And so the patriarch versus, it was the realms, war on America. So that's what they were actually symbolizing. See, the spiritual language is symbolism. And that's what they do. They symbolize the purpose that they want us to energize so it can unfold that energy for the year. So War on America, right after 9/11, and that's when they had the realms, which represents the warriors of the zodiac, against the patriotic spirit, New England Patriots. And this is how we energized and unfold that year as they went to war against Iraq. It was either Iraq or Iran. I always get them confused. But that was the first Super Bowl that they were getting us to energize the war on America after 9/11. So energizing this script that they put on, and then that is how we and our focus, and the more people that focus, the bigger the focus, the bigger the pool of energy, the bigger the spirit event you're contributing to or you're energizing. So this is how they script what they want us to focus on so we can energize that to unfold for the year. And see, this is why I call them Humpty Dumpty, because they have a fragile position of power, because it's based on the illusion. It's not real. It's just us buying into the illusion and how we energize that for them. But what a lot of people don't understand about spiritual energy is that we're dealing with a multitude of levels. So we are like the masses of the people that they are manipulating to focus on energizing what they want to unfold. And as we, like I said, as we buy into it, especially through the more passionate we are about what we're focusing on, the more we're energizing it. And that's why I call them Humpty Dumpty, the egg, depicted as an egg, because it has a fragile position of power because it's based on an illusion. It's not real. We're the ones energizing it into reality by buying into it. But now as we're waking up and taking our energy away from the illusion, it's blowing holes in the illusion, and it no longer has the power to sustain itself. And this is how Humpty Dumpty is falling off the wall. And all the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty back together again, because it's we're actually energizing an illusion as we're focusing on. And as passionate as we are, I want this team. No, I want that team. So as we are all passionate about our focus on the particular team we're passionate about, that's how they're getting us to put an impact in that energy that we're focusing on. So this is why they do certain things. This is why they blatantly cheat. They blatantly will cheat. They will do things that will raise people's passions. You see, that's not right. They cheated, and the more worked up we get about what they're doing, it's the more we're energizing it for them. So their whole role in this entertainment is to bring out the biggest passion, as we confront each other. And then it's all about what you believe. So if you're believing what you're energizing, you see, that is how we pool that energy and then energize it to unfold for the year. And that's why the Super Bowl is the biggest one, because it's their yearly ritual. You see, they do more things during the Olympics, but like I said, that's only 4 years. But they're doing it in all collective gathering. See, spirit is a collective, physical is individual, but you have to pool the energy to create that collective, which is what spirit is, a collective of pooled energy. And so So as many people as they can get to focus in on this, and the Super Bowl on a yearly basis, everybody focus. This is my team. This is my team. Oh, I'm upset because they cheated. All this is bringing out your passion, your focus, and how you're participating and contributing to this ritual. The only thing is like I talk about, we're dealing with a multitude of levels. So the powers that are, that is scripting this to manipulate our focus, to energize their agenda, what they don't understand is that there's a level above them that's actually causing them, to do what they think they're doing, but there's something above them manipulating them, a higher power of reality that is actually getting them to do this. Because energy unfolds through a negative and positive polarity. That's the only way energy unfolds, through a negative and positive polarity. So somebody has to play the heavy in order to activate an opposite response, in spiritual reward, sacrifice and reward. That is how energy unfolds, through a balance of polarities, sacrifice and reward. They're contingent on each other. They work together. They're a platform for one another. So when they do something that gets us upset, it gets us passionate, that we, by doing something that we don't agree with, that's like the negative polarity. And as we energize from that negative polarity, then that is how we get the opposite response spiritually in collective energy, to energize that into the reality. So when people say it's scripted, when people say it's fake, and when they say it's fixed, I have no doubt, that is true. However, there's something higher controlling it as well. And that will show up in these rituals as divine intervention. So
Excellent.
yeah, they will do their script, they will do their script, but they're just being set up.
Ain't that so?
So, yeah, they're being set up so that at a certain point,
Yeah.
when they really want to make a certain point, then the next thing you know, it doesn't actually go the way they expect it to go. That's when we get divine intervention. Like they were able to energize a war on America. They were able to energize going to war after 9/11 against Iraq by the Super Bowl ritual they put on. If you look up that Super Bowl, there's a lot of things that pertain to war. The realms, which is Aries or the Warriors. I think the quarterback, they had a quarterback named Warren. It was a quarterback. I don't remember his first name, but his name was Warren. So they do all these symbols.
Somebody in the chat will know.
Yeah. So so that's what I've been doing. I've been following the progression of how these Super Bowls are unfolding and how it's all
Warren Moon was his name.
Warren Moon. There we go.
Warren
yes.
Moon, yeah.
Warren Moon.
Shout out to Chosen. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how they'll put these pieces in position. That's going to represent the energy they're trying to energize, you see. And most of the time we're so caught up passionately in whatever team, that we're looking at, that we're not seeing all these influences, that's guiding us and directing us to energize in a way that they want this unfold. Kurt Warner. Yeah, there's another war. Kurt Warner.
It's one of them. They said Kurt Warner. It's
It
one
was
of them.
Kurt Warner, yes. And you see
It's
the
one of
word
them. Yeah,
war
yeah.
in the word
Uh,
Warner.
Warner, yeah.
So,
That's deep. That makes it
yes,
even deeper what you said.
yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. You
Wow.
see, so that is how they do these little scripts.
Wow.
And because we don't understand energy, it's going right over our heads. You see, we're just all caught up in the game,
Yeah.
my team versus your team. And then they got all these little props
Yeah.
surrounding it that are contributing to the symbolism
Yes.
of that energy that
Mhm.
they're trying to unfold. So that is how, they are, yes, that is how they're scripting it. But sometimes it goes beyond what they can script. I can bring up different Super Bowls to support this, but the Super Bowl that I really want to mention um, as pertain to this Super Bowl, and you guys, this is not a predictive show. I never do a predictive Super Bowl show. Normally, I only do a Super Bowl show after the Super Bowl because I learned in my experience of doing these Super Bowl symbolisms that spirit only works in wholeness. Spirit don't give you a part of the whole. Spirit don't work in fractions. It's only going to prove what it's doing when it's ready to fulfill or to complete what it's doing. And all the time I would find the symbols of the Super Bowl to try to figure out, actually it's a spiritual message that is being demonstrated or indicated in these Super Bowls. So when I try to put the pieces together, I found out after all these years of doing it that I never can get the whole story until after the game is over with, because that is what spirit does. It doesn't work in fraction. It's going to prove what it's doing when it's ready to fulfill what it's doing or complete what it's doing. Spirit works holistic. That's why I call myself a holistic. It's not until you put two halves together that you have the whole, the balance of opposites. Two halves make a whole. Energy only goes 180 degrees before it has to be balanced with the opposite 180 degrees. That is how you complete a full 360-degree spiral. When you put 180 degrees on one half and balance it with the opposite 180 degrees, that is how you complete a full 360-degree spiral. That's what opens up a vortex and gives you access to the next level energy. The reason we're using the Super Bowls and things like that, sporting events, is because as we let me see, where was I going with that? That 360-degree spiral, opening up a vortex to access the higher level perspective of what energy is doing. We've been programmed only to see things literally and personally, but it's not until we see things from an energy perspective are we seeing the real or the whole or holistic. So the Super Bowls, the sporting events, anywhere we gather collectively, is how we're energizing, and that energy is showing at a higher level because we're pulling energy, and as a collective. And that is what is showing us what the outcome is how we're seeing energy at the next level beyond the personal. There's a multitude of levels that energy unfolds. We have to ascend. Nothing is about time, it's about levels. And you start with the personal level. You have a balance with your own spirit. That's the first level, where you do the physical half, your spirit will do the spiritual half. And together you have that whole, full circle. That's the whole, holistic. Two halves make a whole, holistic. So your first balance is with your own spirit. That's personal. And your spirit is going to represent the energy that is opposite your sun sign. Like I'm Capricorn. So my spiritual energy is going to be Cancer, the opposite sign of Capricorn. So when I balance my physical half through Capricorn with my spiritual half through Cancer, that is how I put those two halves together. And you see a holistic picture of who I am, both physically and spiritually, not just the physical half, which is the illusion. Anytime you're only looking at a part of the whole, that's the illusion. You have to see things holistic to see the real. So once you do that personal balance with your own spirit, then it goes up to the next level. The next level is going to be like a balance, in a one-on-one relationship. That's going to be the next level, a couple level. So they bring their energy, you bring your energy, and come together again, to create another level of wholeness. And each time you create another level of wholeness, you ascend to the next level, start a new one at a higher vibration. And it's always going to encompass, that energy is going to encompass, the individual level, the couple level. After the couple level, the next level after the couple level, or any one-on-one, any relationship you're in a one-on-one basis. And after you ascend the couple level or one-on-one level, then you go to the family level of energy. Now it's about harmonizing energy through family relationships. And once you ascend the family level, then it goes up to the community level. It's a multitude of levels. Then the energy goes up and it gets bigger and bigger every time you ascend to a new level. That spiral just continues to widen as it's encompassing all these levels of energy. And once you get through the family level, then it goes to the community level. From the community level, then you got like a local level of energy. You have a national level of energy. Then it goes up to a what is that? A global level of energy. And that's where the powers that be or that are, that's the level they're operating from, the global level. We're dealing with a global agenda. We're dealing with manipulation of the masses from a global level in order to create the energy or the spiritual energy that they want to stay in control of. So the global level, that's where we're dealing with a global agenda. And from the global level, it will go to the planetary level, that balance. This is all the levels we can balance energy. And after the global level, it goes to planetary level. After the planetary level, it goes to the universal level. And after the universal level, we go to a star system level. So these are all the levels we can balance energy to create the whole and manifest that energy and materialize that energy. It won't show itself. It's only going to show what it's doing when it's ready to fulfill what it's doing or complete what it's doing. Like I said, it don't work in fractions. So these are all the levels we're being manipulated. And the one that's doing the most manipulation is the global level. And that consists of, corporate entities and billionaires, that are coming together to set that agenda that they want to manipulate the masses to energize in their focus. So it's all about energy and understanding energy. They understand energy. They know what and how to create the energy they want to energize for the year by using us and our focus to energize it for them. You see. So global level. But energy can only go 180 degrees before it has to be balanced with the opposite 180 degrees. So they've reached their maximum of corrupted power. They've reached their 180 degrees of corrupted power at the global level. All the systems in the world are now corrupted at a global level. And that's the level they're manipulating the masses from. You see, we got the system of the illusion. Anything outside of you is an illusion. Your power is internal. Spirit moves inside out, not outside out, not outside in. That means we're energy transmitters as well as receivers. But it's what we send out as to what we spiral back.
Right.
Spirit is spiral. So if you're sending it out at 20%, you're going to spiral it back at 20%. If you're sending it out at 80%, you're going to spiral it back at 80%. And this is why they want to keep us in doubts, fears, and guilt, because that keeps you at a low level vibration and keeps you vulnerable to whatever it is they want to influence and enforce. And as we stay in fears, that their biggest thing is fears. This is what they pulled on us in the last 3.5, 4 years. Manipulating at a global level through fears. You see? And the more people that participate, the bigger the spirit. Spirit is a collective. Physical is individual. You have to pull energy to create spirit. That's why they say where more than one is called in my name, so shall I be Father's spirit.
Yes.
Okay? But we have the masculine half, which is air element and the fire element. And we have the feminine half, which is the earth element and the water element. I'm not saying male, female, masculine and feminine. Masculine is external, feminine is internal. There has to be a dual balance of opposites to complete that spiral, that whole. There has to be a dual balance of opposites. And the ultimate dual balance of opposites to create the whole, or the vortex, is the masculine in balance with the feminine and the spiritual in balance with the physical. Those are the dual balance of opposites that has to occur in order to complete that spiral or that cycle. If it's not complete, if it's not a full 360 spiral, if it's just one iota outside of that spiral, it's not real. It's still in an aberrant rotation. Anytime you're dealing with the part of the whole, it's the illusion. And this showed very well with me as I started doing these SuperBowl symbolism. That's when I began to realize no matter what information I have, I'm not still going to know what the real message is, what the spiritual message is, until the game is complete. Because spirit only works in completion and wholeness. It always fulfills through the opposite. When you balance that 180 degree with the opposite 180 degrees, that is how you complete that 360 spiral. That's how you open up a vortex and access the next level vibration of energy. So they've been manipulating us from a global level, a global agenda.
Let me ask you something real quick, Myra.
Yes.
So I've heard plans of them trying to move this Super Bowl to Africa. Do you think that's an attempt to re-energize this ritual that is losing power?
Oh, absolutely.
They're talking about Ghana. They're talking about moving into Ghana sometime soon. What's your thoughts on the Super Bowl being in Africa and Ghana in the near future?
Okay. I don't believe it. Okay. Because I don't think Africa is participating with the United States anymore at this time. Africa is woken up and they're coming up against imperialism. They're coming up against colonialism. So they're not feeling very good about the United States. Now, I know there's going to be always fractions that, try to do their own thing. But on the whole, I don't think Africa is going to participate with that.
Mm.
Okay, Africa is trying to break away from what they have been through, with America. I don't believe it, but that's one of the reasons they will put it out there.
Oh.
Because if enough of us believe it, we can actually energize it into manifestation. That is how they do everything. They put it out there. That is why they especially do it through doubts, fears, and guilt. Because if you buy into it, I'm in my fears. You see, you're not thinking rationally. You're just, in your fears. And that's their biggest way to manipulate the masses by buying into those fears. Fears, doubt, and guilt is what undermines the spiritual process. Because in order to step up to a new level, and because we have gone into the Aquarius age, Aquarius is the sign of evolution. And its opposite sign. This is why I call myself a holistic, because it's not until you balance the opposites do you see the whole. So I don't believe in 12 individual signs anymore.
Yeah.
I believe in 6 axes of energy. It's not until you put the 2 halves together that you have the whole. So so the thing is to get us to energize at a low level vibration through doubts, fears, and guilts, keep our vibration lowered so we can become vulnerable to their programming. So they'll put things out there intentionally just to see how you'll buy into it and energize it and make it real. So they purposely will plant those seeds in your mind. So if you think that's what's going to happen, then you're actually contributing your energy to make it happen, to influence it to happen. So that is why we got constant chaos now. Like I said, I just turned 72. And I remember the days when we had chaos and catastrophes every great now and then. Now we get it on a multi-daily basis because they're at the end of their role and they need as much participation as they can get because, like I said, there's too many of us waking up and pulling our energy away, blowing holes in it, and it no longer has the power to sustain itself. This is how Humpty Dumpty is falling off the wall. We're waking up. And we're removing the energy. So they're getting desperate now. So they're doing whatever it takes to gain our focus, so that we can energize their agenda. But they're losing power. They're at the maximum of their power at their 180 degrees. When I did the show 11/11, this is when I was telling you that was a gateway to cross us over to the opposite half of this operation. We've been in the air and fire. We've been in the masculine half. Masculine half, the air element deals with the conscious realm. And that is the father component, the air element, father spirit, righteous father spirit. Like I said, where more than one is called in my name, so shall I be, Father Spirit, pooling energy to create spirit. But they've learned how to manipulate that energy to create the spirit that's going to serve their agenda. So the fire element, that's also masculine, air and fire. The air element represents the father component, father spirit. He speaks to you external through the mind or how you think. Anytime you're dealing with the air, you're dealing with how you think, mental. Then we have the fire element. That's the sun component. That represents the power, our passions, physically, our desires. But the highest vibration of the fire is power, creative powers. So air and fire, the father and son, spiritual power. So that is the fire or the sun component. What we got to do is look at the different levels, because you're going to see a different face at different levels. But it's going to be that same line of energy that follows, that like fire from one end to the opposite end. The bottom, the lowest vibration of the fire element is the war. The war. And then as you take it to higher levels, that fire, the highest level of the fire element is creative powers. Creative powers. The air element, the lowest connotation of the air element is the illusion, programming us in false, in the way we're thinking. And they want to keep us thinking pessimistic, keeping us lowered, because that's what we energize through, is how we're thinking. We energize our reality through the mind, or how we're thinking through our imagination. When you're doing your imagination, you're not, you're remembering from your subconscious, your ancient memory. You're opening up to the conscious realm from the subconscious. And that is how you're tapping into that universal energy. And that is how you're then energizing that into your reality. It's your imagination that is doing that. Is how you maneuver through the spiritual realm. So the illusion, manipulating how we think, someone has programmed us in false values so that we will respond to the manipulation of the illusion and energize it for them. So that is the air and fire. That is the masculine half. We've just completed the masculine half with that 1111. The last 1111 was signaling our completion of the masculine half of the operation. So it doesn't become obsolete. You just put a pin in it, because you don't blend energy. And this is the biggest thing most people don't understand. You don't blend energy. You harmonize energy. So you have to complete one half before you activate the opposite half in response in equal measure. So they've reached their maximum of that 180 degrees. They're really desperate right now. And that is when we activate the opposite half, which is the feminine half, the internal. Now we're dealing with the water and earth element. The water is mama's domain, mama universe, mama soul, the mama magic. First two letters of magic is ma, where father deals through the air element with father's spirit through logic and reason and knowing. With mama, it goes beyond your knowing. It goes beyond logic and reason. Now you're going into the magical realm. That's mama's domain. She's also the ancient of ancients, the mama of ancestors. So that's where we go into our Akashic records, our ancient memory, the subconscious. Father deals with the conscious mind, mama deals with the subconscious. And we're now hopping the fence to mama's half. Because like I told you, the powers that have been have reached their maximum at a global level. All the systems of the world are now corrupted at a global level. We're talking about the political system, the medical system, pharmaceutical, entertainment system, educational system, the news media, the social platforms. All these are being manipulated from a global level to program how you're thinking. And as you buy into that illusion, that is how you're energizing Humpty Dumpty. But the thing is, the global level is where they've reached their maximum. And the next level after global level is planetary. And that's where Big Mama comes into the picture. Mama Universe. The planets are her children. Mama's been on like a scared straight program. She said, my family, my children, my family don't appreciate me. So I'm going to back up, let them totally deal in Father's reality. Because really it's nothing but cycles and spirals, cycles of energy. That's what we're dealing with, cycles of energy. Everything did start matriarchal. All colors come from the color black, original Black Mama Universe. And it's why our ancestors came out as the original rulers with powers. They had powers. They could fly. They could breathe underwater. They could talk telepathically with the plants, the animals, the universe, each other. We still have those powers, but they're of the subconscious realm, not of the conscious realm. The masculine half, the air element, represents the conscious realm. Now we're entering the subconscious, Mama's domain, which is hidden, internal, feminine, as well as in antiquity. She is the ancient of ancients, the soul realm. So now that we've completed the masculine half, that automatically gives an equal response in the opposite feminine half. In equal measure, it will activate an opposite response in equal measure. Energy only unfolds through a negative and positive polarity. No pain, no gain. Same extent the pain will reflect the same extent the gain. We've been wounded in the physical half, but we are being healed as we're now entering the spiritual half. Everything is about the balance of opposites. If you understand the balance of opposites, there's nothing you can't understand. So, since they've reached their maximum of abuse of power, and as I keep telling you guys, that's the only sin there is the abuse of power. If we eradicated the abuse of power, we'd have no problems. So they've reached their maximum of abuse of power. Because air and fire, the illusion, manipulating the masses in the illusion, as well as the fire, which is warfare. And the only way it's good and it's right is when it's balanced. They don't have access to the balance. They only deal with the air and the fire element. They have a glass ceiling. We are the holistic people. We can deal with the air and fire, but then we have to balance it with the earth and the water in order to create that whole, that vortex, and energize at the next level. They don't have the capacity to do that. And it's when they can't balance it that it becomes abusive. Nothing's inherently bad. It's being off balance that causes friction. When you're off balance, you have abuse on one half and neglect on the opposite half. That's just energy. We're just defining energy and how it operates. If we understand how energy operates, they understand that's what they've been using to manipulate the energy through us. So now we've reached the maximum at the global level, which we now go to the planetary level. Mama Universe's, the subconscious, Mama Universe's domain. The planets are her children, especially daughter Earth. And all of us are individual aspects of daughter Earth. We're the vessels on ground level, ground zero, who can energize from one end to the opposite end. We have access to energy vibration all the way out to a star system level. We have to continue to lift our vibration. That is why they keep us in doubts, fears, and guilt, so that we'll lower our vibration and keep us vulnerable to their manipulation and their attack and their control. Because we are getting divine intervention. Righteous Father Spirit and Mama Universe. Those are our true parents. We've been under the auspices of false authority. The father of illusion, the ma of tricks, the matrix, and the ma of terror, materialism. But if we lift our vibration, everybody gets their blessings through Jupiter energy. Jupiter is the great beneficent, the planet Jupiter. The planet Jupiter is the planetary ruler of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very optimistic energy, which means in order to tap into your blessings, you have to be optimistic or you'll go right up under it. There's two prerequisites to qualifying as a royal ruler. We entered the Aquarian age. Aquarius is the sign of evolution. Aquarius' opposite sign is Leo. Leo is the creative ruler. So when we balance Aquarius with Leo, the evolution of a new creative rulership in the universe. It's time to evolve out of the abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. So evolving from an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment is what's now happening, which is now what is opening up as we are now ready to balance with the universal energy of Big Mama. Like I said, everything started Matriarch Oracle. That's why our ancestors had the powers. But spirit is spiral. So it spiraled around from the Matriarch Oracle half to the Patriarch Oracle half, where everything became external and masculine, air and fire. The external. But anytime we get into the Aquarian age, that means it's come back full circle to the mama again, that portal and that gateway that opened up on 11/11, crossing over to mama's half. And so she's going to balance out. She's going to come to the rescue of her children. Everybody is mama's children, mama's family. But she's Mama Universe. She's too omniscient to come down here and take care of her family herself. So we are her vessels that she sent in at ground level to be able to tap into that energy and follow that line of energy all the way up to that star system level. But if we're thinking pessimistic, we're energizing pessimistic. We don't make that ascension. So that is why they've been programming us in doubts, fears, and guilts. That is what undermines the process. I always compare it to the big bad wolf and the three little pigs. The big bad wolf is the system of illusion that has to intimidate you into believing it has power over you, but its power is not real. And your house of straws is made up of your doubts, fears, and guilts. And the big bad wolf can huff and puff and blow that house down. Your house of twigs is made up of your insecurities. And the big bad wolf can huff and puff and blow that house down. But your house of bricks is when you're fully secure from within. So the two prerequisites to qualifying as a royal ruler in this evolutionary process, there's two criteria that the universe judges you by in order to determine if you qualify as a royal ruler. And the first prerequisite is going to be you have to be secure from within. Earth and water are internal. Earth represents your security. So being secure from within is the first prerequisite to stepping up as a royal ruler. Because you're secure from within, that there's a purpose, a bigger purpose being served. And you're part of that universal purpose being served. You have to be secure there's a bigger picture, a bigger purpose unfolding. And all we've been seeing in the external illusionary is the pieces that has to come together to make the whole. We've been seeing piecemeal, Reese's Pieces, what I call it. All that energy has to come together in a pool in order to balance and create that whole. So as we, so that's how we're energizing it. Your house of bricks, or what you're judged by, the first prerequisite, there's only two of judgment as to if you qualify to step up as a royal ruler. And that's number one, being secure from within, not looking outside yourself through your ego and being manipulated through your ego to be used as a pawn against this royal purpose. So that's the first prerequisite, is being secure from within. You do that through the earth element. The first earth sign, Taurus. You have all the energy in you. Don't just look at your sun sign. That's what you came in here to focus and expose. But you have a full universe of energy within you that has to come into balance in order for you to step up to your wholeness. And it starts with your first balance with your own spirit. And that's how everything will ascend from there in spirals. So that first prerequisite, being secure from within. So you don't look outside of yourself through your ego and be manipulated by your ego to be used as a pawn against this purpose. The second prerequisite is you have to prove to the universe that you're not going to abuse that power, that you're going to use it righteously. This whole experience of energy and the cycles of energy is an alchemical process. Turning what is base into gold, refining. Our predecessors abused their powers, they screwed up the world. If we abuse our powers, it's going to be detrimental to the universe. So this is the process to teach us how to use our powers righteously and not abuse them. Because if we abuse our powers, it's going to cause detriment to the universe. So that's what this whole thing has been about, learning how to use our power. And that does take us to the SuperBowl that we're looking at coming up on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the reason it takes us to that is because everybody, we come to the full collective power through the last fire sign, Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. The planetary ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, the Great Beneficent. That represents Asar's energy. Sagittarius is the energy of Asar. And this was why Asar was cut into the 14 pieces. Those are the 14 cycles of time. He was cut down by Father Time, Father Spirit, the Father of righteous thinking. That's the highest role of Father Spirit, is to create a collective righteous mindset. So it was the ultimate Father set who cut down the ultimate Son, the fire, Sagittarius, Asar. He cut him in, and as Father Time, he cut him down into 14 cycles of time, so he could learn how to use that power righteously and not abuse that power. That's the only sin there is in the spiritual reality, is the abuse of power. And Sagittarius, being the last fire sign, was the ultimate sun with Jupiter, and whatever Jupiter touches, it brings in abundance, it enlarges. So it was the ultimate son of power, most prone to abuse that power. Mm-hmm. That is why righteous Father Spirit had to cut him down so he could mature in order to, the Father is the mind. So as he come to a mindset of using his powers righteously, it's only when a Sar can prove that he's ready to use that abundance of power righteously that he can gain the full benefit of his power. Because that's the second prerequisite. You have to prove you will not abuse that power. They're not going to give you the full benefit of power if you're prone to abuse that power. That's the whole thing to the universe. Is, like I said, Aquarius. This always happens in the Aquarian age because it's the sign of evolution. And it's the sign of the humanitarian, how we evolve. It's the sign of evolution, how we're evolving from an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. That happens in the Aquarian age. That means we've balanced on enough levels to evolve to a new level in spiritual rulership. Aquarius and Leo, the evolution of a spiritual rulership out of the abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. Our ancient rulers, our ancestors, are passing the baton to us as the new age rulers to evolve out of this abuse to a humanitarian empowerment. That is what's going on as we're stepping into the opposite half. And it's time for us to step up and tap into our blessings. But we can't do that until we come together as a collective in our power, in righteousness. You see? So what's significant about this Super Bowl is in 2013. That's when we went into the Aquarian age. And in 2013, 11 years ago, 11? The symbolism, and especially numerology, when you're looking at spiritual energy. So 11 years ago, in the Super Bowl, in 2013, we had a mother-son Super Bowl. And how did we have a mother-son Super Bowl? Because the two teams that were in the Super Bowl, San Francisco 49ers and Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
You guys saw, I showed you this once before. I showed you when I did the last year's Super Bowl, I showed you this book. Let me see if I can get this book.
Let me put it on the hold up. Yeah.
Okay. Horoscope of the Western Hemisphere. That's the book. This is what I use to look up the energy of a city. It's the Western Hemisphere.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
when I want to look up, this is how I look at the symbolism of the Super Bowl. First, I'm not going to look at the team. This has got nothing to do with how good the team plays. It's about what the team symbolizes. What is their symbol? That's the spiritual language, symbolism. So what is the symbol of the team? And then combine that with their energy. It's how I come up with information about what type of message is ready to unfold as these two competitors come together. What is going to be the ultimate spiritual message at the end of the game through the symbolism of each team and the energy they represent. And in 2013, the Super Bowl, San Francisco and 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. And when I looked up their energy for the city of Baltimore, Leo energy, the sun. And when I looked up the 49ers energy, Cancer energy, the mama or the mother. So a mother-son Super Bowl.
Right. Wow.
And we got um, the ravens. So we're dealing with hidden power. And then 49 adds up to 13. 13 is mama's number for magic. 13 is the highest vibration of accessing mama's magic. Number 4 is the number of completion. And we're taking number 4, the number of completion, to a higher octave, 13. That's when you're tapping into mama's magic.
Oh, Myra, it's the Kansas City, not Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Kansas City.
Yeah, I know that. I'm talking about the Super Bowl that happened 11 years ago.
Okay. All right. Okay.
11 years ago. Right. I'm making connection from the Super Bowl 11 years ago to the Super Bowl that's coming up on Sunday.
Okay. All right.
So in that Super Bowl, it was Baltimore and San Francisco.
Yes.
This was the Super Bowl after Beyonce did the halftime performance. The lights went out for 34 minutes.
Right.
And in this Super Bowl, it stayed lit up on the Suns' half or Baltimore's half, but it stayed dark on San Francisco's half or the Mama's half, which is appropriate for energy. Mama, the feminine, is hidden, and the sun is the visible or exposure. And it stayed out for 34 minutes. And when it came back on and they completed the game, and Baltimore won the game. So it was symbolic of, okay, I should have prefaced this, but how we were wounded. How we were wounded collectively as a family is they killed off the father who would protect the family in front of the mama. So she would keep her son a little boy, keep him in his ego, so he wouldn't grow into the father and be killed as well. So if you put an S in front of mother, the water, smother, the fire, or the power of the sun. The mother smothers the fire or the power of the sun. And opposites do the same thing. That was the physical connotation, the mother-son. The spiritual connotation is the father-daughter. So when the mother smothers the power of the sun, and that's because energy has to unfold through a negative and positive, and then a positive and negative polarity. That's why we have to interchange the masculine, the feminine, the masculine. So the mother and son, the physical, and the father, the daughter, the spiritual connotation. So when the mother smothers the fire or the power of the sun, automatically, in opposite response, spiritually, the father abandons the value of the daughter. And they said this will self-perpetuate for hundreds of years unless something phenomenal turns it around. Well, we've had those phenomenals to turn it around. And that's what that Super Bowl was indicating, that the mother becomes the mama, and she backs away from the sun, the negative polarity, the feminine polarity, backing off, and release the son into his power. He then resurrects into righteous Father Spirit, who now redeems the value of daughter character or daughter earth. So that's how we were wounded, but now we're being healed. We've had a reversal of that energy that has perpetuated our captivity or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what that Super Bowl was indicating. The mama backed away off the negative polarity, the feminine. So she backs away off of the sun. That ignites his fire, his passions, his fire, and his resurrection. And he resurrects into righteous Father Spirit, who then restores or redeems the value of the daughter character. That is what that Super Bowl was symbolizing 11 years ago. Now we're coming up on another mother-son Super Bowl on Sunday. Because we still have San Francisco, the mama. But now we have Kansas City Chiefs. And when you look up Kansas City's energy, when I looked it up in this book, you'll never guess.
What?
Sagittarius.
Woo! You just talking about them. Just talking about the Sags. Wow.
Sagittarius. A SAR.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only sin is the abuse of power. And a SAR or Sagittarius is the one prone to abuse that power with Jupiter as its planetary ruler. Whatever Jupiter touches brings in abundance. So that is why Set, the Father's spirit, cut him down 14 cycles to mature so he would not abuse that power, but use it righteously. So now we're at that crossroads. Did Asar learn his lesson? Is he going to use it righteously, or is he going to abuse that power? Because Kansas City has gotten rather cocky. They've become egotistic. This is, out of 4 years, they have reached the Super Bowl. So guess who may be prone to have an ego at this point about the power they have to win all the games to get to the Super Bowl and then win the Super Bowl. And one of the testaments to this fact, like I said, their symbolism, what they surround symbolism in the game. And guess who they done pulled out of the closet for Kansas City?
Who?
Taylor Swift.
I knew you was going to say that.
Long time Illuminati vessel.
Oh, man.
And she's with, what's his name? What's his name?
What's the name, y'all? They know in the chat. What's the name?
Me in details.
Yeah, what's the name of the dude Taylor Swift is with? What's he? They'll say it in a second.
Yeah. So
he got credit for the fade. Let me see. They not saying.
Let me see.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was a T.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. Yes.
Yeah.
So guess what Travis Kelce is doing?
What?
He's doing commercials for Pfizer promoting the jab.
Wow. Be careful with that, Myra. I don't want this video.
Okay, that's it.
I did. Wow. Wow. Whoa. That's big. That's big.
So what does that look like here?
Yeah.
Is that power going to be abusive, or is it going to be in righteousness? I never have, like I said, this is not predictive. It's never been predictive. My spirit just wants me to see the symbolism. When I did the symbolism, it was North Carolina, the patriarchs versus the matriarch, because they were using the patriarch quite a bit. The patriarch took down the whole royal family when they beat Aries or the Rams. That was the son, the prince. Aries is the prince of the royal family because it's the cardinal fire. The fire is the sun, and the royal son is the prince. That's Aries energy. So that's what the Rams were representing when the patriarchs took them out right after 9/11. Then they took out the matriarch when the patriarchs took out North Carolina, the Panthers. This was the Super Bowl where Janet Jackson had her wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
And in that Super Bowl, the matriarch versus the patriarch, that's what that was about. Because Janet Jackson was on the stage with Justin Timberlake, the patriarch, the young boy. And I say mama did that exposure because her breast got exposed. That's cancer energy. Mama chastising Janet Jackson. And in that Super Bowl, my spirit came to me before the game. And it says, there's 3 things we want you to do. They said, number 1, don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about who wins the game. My spirit said, number 2, we want you to tape the game. And number 3, we want you to watch the 8s.
Mm-hmm.
So I did what Spirit told me. I watched the game. I taped it. And then when it got to the end of the game, they were tied. The Patriots and the matriarch, they were tied, or the Panthers. They were tied. The patriarch threw a long bomb down the field and caught it in range to be able to kick a field goal. And when he threw the long bomb down the field, even the commentator said, 8 seconds on the clock. 8 seconds on the clock. So my antennas went up because the Spirit had told me to watch the 8s. And there was 8 seconds left in the game. And then all of a sudden, that's why they told me to tape it. Because all of a sudden the screen went green. And when it came back on, mysteriously, there were 9 seconds on the clock. Now, in football games, the official has to tell you when to add seconds on the clock. That didn't happen. It just green screen, clears up, and now the clock is showing 9 seconds. They kick the field goal and win the game. The patriarchs over the matriarch, the queen. And my spirit came to me after that, said there's 3 things we want you to get out of this. Number 1, they know what time it is. Number 2, they're trying to change what time it is. And number 3, they're trying to extend their time from the 8 to the 9. So they're trying to extend their time. So these are the messages our spirit wants us to see. It's not about who wins or who loses. That has nothing to do with the price of eggs for the message that our spirit is trying to get us to see at a higher level. Mm-hmm. And I have a multitude of these games where this is demonstrated at.
Oh, yeah.
So, so now we're getting to 11 years. Now we're getting another mother-son Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fire is the sun. Mm-hmm. Sagittarius is it's like Leo, the sun as Leo resurrected into Sagittarius for this game.
Yeah.
You see.
Right.
From Baltimore to Kansas City, from Leo to Sagittarius. Now, when you look at the fire axis, in the physical rotation, you go from Aries to Leo to Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. However, spirit is opposite the physical. So we're going to reverse that if we're looking at a spiritual connotation, but we're going to start with Leo in that fire triangle. Mm-hmm. So Leo, the planetary ruler of Leo, is the sun. So it's about the resurrection of the sun. And then the sun resurrects into Aries or Haru, Mars energy. Aries is the most personal sign of the zodiac. Aries is when you come to a full 360 degrees of your personal power. Anytime we're dealing with fire, we're dealing with power. So Aries is where we come to a full 360 degrees of personal power. That's when we step up as Haru. They pattern their heroes after our Haru. And once all the Harus, and they had a Super Bowl to demonstrate that, because they had Denver Broncos coming up against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks was playing the role of Haru. And in that Super Bowl, Seattle was racking the hell out of Denver. They was hitting Denver so hard, Denver was closing their eyes when they caught the ball. So it was showing you the personal power. We have 360 degree power over their power of the Illuminati, which they can only do 33 degrees, 33 versus our 360. So that's what was being demonstrated in that Super Bowl. Haru was tearing up the Denver Broncos, because that's where they say, the headquarters is, under the airport.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Myra, let me ask you this, because I know we only got about 15 minutes left. One of the more popular questions I see in the chat. Also, I've wondered years ago, and I've implemented my own way of doing this, but a lot of people are curious about what to do during Super Bowl if they could alchemize the energy to make it beneficial for themselves. Is there anything you recommend the people do during this mass ritual that can benefit them energetically or benefit the collective and
yes,
the
sure. I mean, I love the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I love all of that. I love participating with it. My favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then I took a second team, the Detroit Lions. And I thought that was going to be the Super Bowl, the Detroit Lions versus Baltimore. Because in that scenario, we would have got two royal entities, and it still would have been mother-son. Because the Detroit Lions, that's royalty. That's royalty when we're dealing with the Lions. That's rulership, the evolution of a new rulership, Aquarius and Leo. So Leo represents the lion, which is royalty. We would have had two royals in the Super Bowl. We would have had the Detroit Lion, and we would have had Baltimore Raven. Wow. That's the way it was supposed to pan out. We would have had a mother-son Super Bowl with two lions, because of Baltimore, Leo, and then the Lions, the Detroit Lions. Wow. And the Lions would have been the let me see, the lion, I forget what energy, but anyway, it still would have been another mother-son Super Bowl, and but it would have been through a royal axis of energy. Right. But they jumped that. In other words, when you talk about being fixed, they decided they didn't want that. That's why they brought Kansas City into the mix. And Kansas City, and now we're looking at whether we're going to get an abuse of power, or are we going to get a righteous? Is Mama going to put the ultimate son in check? That's what we're going to find out in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to switch roles myself, but I never know till the end of the game. But yes, I'm into that. I love watching the games. It's a way to have some entertainment, some excitement, No,
but do you recommend something like They want to know, like, do you recommend like mass meditation? That's what they're curious about. Like,
yeah, all you got to do, just don't fall for the okie doke.
Just don't fall, right. It's not that complicated, huh?
No, it's just what we believe.
Right.
Okay? And we've been passionately energizing blindly. While they've been using all the symbols to direct how we're putting our passions through our focus, but we're waking up now.
Yes.
And now we're becoming aware of what the script is indicating. And just like I told you,
Mm.
every now and then we get divine intervention. They do their little script, and then when they're ready to sock it to us, then boom, things just don't go the way they thought it was going to go. That's because enough of us has become aware of that programming. We've checked the script, changed the script, and the more collective we pull that energy to change that script, then we're going to energize what it is we are bringing to the table.
Right, 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 right.
That's why we get divine intervention. So it's just about being aware.
Mm.
It's just about being conscious of what you're doing and what you're energizing, and just not doing it blindly. You can enjoy it. You can, you can indulge. You can enjoy it. I do. I love going to football games. However, I know, what they're trying to script. And I know, that we collectively have the power to undermine their script. And that's what we're starting to do.
Excellent.
We're starting to do that. That's when we see the divine intervention.
Undermine their script. Wow.
Yes, that's what we do. We undermine their script because they're using our energy in the first place.
In the first place. There you go. Yeah.
So it's just not doing it blindly, not just, just being passionate about my team.
Yeah.
I want my team to win when there's a bigger purpose. When my favorite team don't win, what I be saying, there's a bigger purpose that has to be served that my team don't have the energy to contribute to. That's what you have to realize. Well, my team's not going to win this one because it's not, it's not going to energize to fulfill a bigger purpose.
Bigger purpose, yes.
There's a bigger purpose being fulfilled. And if your team gets bumped, it's because they aren't going to be a contributor to what needs to happen to serve a bigger purpose, you see.
Excellent. And you're doing a post Super Bowl show, right?
Yes, I am. That one I'm going to get more into those details of a song,
right.
and but I never do predictive.
Okay.
I never.
Okay.
I just tell you, as a result of what happens, what the spiritual message is. Right. I will tell you what it means by who wins the game and the symbols involved in the game. I can then put it all together and tell you the higher spiritual message of what was being unfolded from the highest levels of the universe, what message we needed to get from it. Like they told me, don't worry about the outcome. Watch the 8s. And that's how they were able to tell me, this is what we want you to get out of this. They know what time it is. They're trying to change what time it is. They're trying to extend their time. That's what my spirit wanted me to see. And that's what my spirit wanted me to communicate to the masses. Okay? So they can come to an understanding of how they're doing this manipulation in their script to get us to blindly energize that for them. When we can bring our own energy through our own imagination, and the more of us that comes together in our script is how we then get that divine intervention.
One last question before we get out of here, Sister Myra. I seen several people bring this up. I know a lot of people are curious about the halftime show. And they picked these celebrities. Do you think this is for energetic purposes? Is just
absolutely.
Talk to me.
What's her name? Everybody is used, according to their energy for the purpose they're trying to fulfill. Like I said, the Olympics is another way that they do these rituals. That's why they pulled Muhammad Ali out.
In Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Bobby Hemmett talked about that back in the day.
Yes. That's why they pulled him out, because we are the figureheads. And I can't think of her name, a singer. And she was on a Mandela in the Super Bowl ritual, a Super Bowl halftime. She was on a Mandela and she was wearing white. And the people surrounding her was wearing black
Was it
what is her
Madonna?
name?
It wasn't Madonna, right?
No, not
Lady,
This is
Lady
a black
Gaga.
woman.
What's the
This
name?
is a
It was a black
melanated woman.
Oh, Rihanna?
Tony
Rihanna?
Braxton.
Tony
Tony
Braxton.
Braxton.
Okay, okay.
And they had her standing on a Mandela,
Mm,
and that's the power of the world, and she had on white, and the people around her had on black, so she could pull the energy and then dispense it, and the people in black would absorb it. You see,
mm,
white repels, and the black absorbs. So they were using her as a funnel to bring the energy down, and then she would send it out through her as the vessel, and the people that were surrounding her in black would absorb that energy. So yes, the
mm,
people they use, the celebrity they use, it's the reason they're using them, because they're the vessel that best going to serve the purpose that they're trying to energize.
mm.
So yeah,
Wow.
everything. The commercials,
Yeah,
everything.
everything. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely an amazing show. I definitely appreciate. I always appreciate your Super Bowl breakdowns. That's like must see TV right there when you do these breakdowns. So I look forward to the breakdown you do after the Super Bowl. And I'm just
Yes,
thankful to have you on here before the Super Bowl, just to give the people idea of why you do this and
yes,
why this is the biggest ritual
yes.
and what exactly is going on, Sister Myra. I
I'm
thank
glad
you.
you gave me that opportunity to
Oh yeah.
explain it, because
Oh yeah.
because really it's not about the game.
Mm,
But the one I'm going to do the one on Tuesday.
mm, mm,
Um, and I'm trying to think of how I'm going to put the flyer out there. But I know the flyer is going to go out. But I'm going
mm.
to do one on Tuesday, and there I'm going to get more detailed about what's being symbolized in this Super Bowl.
Mm. Where you're
So
doing it at? Where you're doing it at on Tuesday?
his name is brother Yuziku. Yusiku. Let me spell that, because I know I never do pronounce it right.
Right, right.
Um, but
What do you got?
he's
You got a YouTube channel?
no, you know me and technology, brother Rich. I am just not. He does though. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going
what
to
I'm
get
saying.
him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Hmm.
all right, all
Well,
right.
here he is, and it's spelled his name, brother S. Is Usiku. That's his name, brother
Uh,
Yusiku. And you're probably not going to be able to. I don't know if you'll be able to see this flyer. Uh, Come on, expand for me. Don't do me like that. Um, Let me see if I can put that up to the. No, it's not going to show.
yeah, it's
But
blurry.
he's got a flyer. It's called Sister Myra Super Bowl, The Ultimate Power of a Czar, Abusive or Righteous. Mama Universe makes the official call.
All right. All right.
That's the name of it. And his let me see, his website is let me get my magnifying glass here. Where is it? Oh gosh. Um his website is Instagram at USIKU what is it, underscore stone, STONE, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the 13th, February the 13th. YouTube.com Ringing Stone Network, or Instagram at USIKU, USIKU, and then it's got that underscore stone, STONE. So you'll be able to, yeah, and pick all that up. You'll be able to tap into that through that website.
Indeed.
Uh, but it's going to be good. It's going to be
Oh yeah.
good. So come, I just gave you a teaser,
Oh
of
yeah.
the meaning, but we'll go full force into it
Excellent.
on Tuesday. Yes, at 8 o'clock. So,
Sister Myra, leave your contact information as usual. I know you do readings. Let the people know about how they can reach out to you with readings as well, Sister Myra.
okay, the only way to schedule a reading is through my website, Sister Myra. Um, SisterMyra.com.
Mm-hmm.
SisterMyra H
Mm-hmm.
at SisterMyra.com
Mm-hmm.
is where you get to my website in order to schedule a reading. I'm not putting out my phone number anymore because
Oh man.
I get bombarded, you know.
Oh man.
So that's the only way.
I was wondering when you was gonna have to stop doing that because
Oh
I know.
yeah, because
Oh
it
man.
just got overwhelming, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to stop doing that because people would still try to reach out to me to schedule through me, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't schedule. I have nothing to do with scheduling
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I go through what is it, Shopify?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So all my stuff is set up through there. That they do all the scheduling, the calendar, all
Right.
that. So I have no control over the calendar. So there's no need to call me. You know, you just have to go to that website
Mm-hmm.
to schedule. And I think, and the time is getting smaller. I'm out to about maybe about 6 to 8 months now.
Okay.
You can get one in that time frame. Used to be a year,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but everybody that gets it after a year, they're all saying, oh, it was the right time for me to get it. It was the appropriate time because
Right
your
time. Yeah.
spirit is the one orchestrating, you
Yes.
know, everything. Your
Yes.
spirit is what's blocking. Your spirit is what's opening up. So your spirit is going to give you the date to have the consultation at the right time where it's going to be the most meaningful for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a year, your spirit chose that because things wouldn't have lined up before that, before you to understand the message. You see.
Divine
So,
time.
yeah, sign up no matter how long because it's your spirit that puts you in the position to get it when you got it
Exactly.
because it's, you know, going to be strategic to your message.
Indeed.
So
Wow.
that's it.
Well, good to see you again, Sister Myra.
Same here.
Blessings
It's
as
always my
usual,
pleasure.
and looking forward to having you on here again soon. All right.
Wonderful.
All right.
I hope you guys got, you know, what you needed from this. I
Oh
hope,
yeah. This
you
is
know, it was everything you were anticipating because,
this was
you know,
absolutely magnificent. This is exactly what we.
wonderful,
So,
wonderful, wonderful.
I
So,
appreciate it, Sister Myra.
okay, you
All right.
too.
All right.
Y'all.
Peace. Peace.
Love your family. Bye bye.
All right, family. Shout out to everybody in the family. I will see you tomorrow. With that being said, Brother Rich is getting out of here. Thanks for tuning in. All right, family. See you tomorrow. Peace.